Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Dio, what is poppin'?
I'm getting some really crazy reverb back in the headset from this microphone, and I thought you were telling me that you were going to go out and buy us some new mics.
They're not working for you good?
No, I can hear now. Just a little bit. Like when I said JC.
It's probably because you're yelling in the mic like Carlos Navarro.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Shout out to Los.
Yeah, literally shout out to Los.
Shout out to Carlos. You know what? His whole entire Real Radio 104.1 and that whole community and fan base, they're in mourning right now. So my heart goes out to them. They had a cast member, guy his screen name was Bubba Whoop-Ass Wilson. Okay. And he passed away.
Sorry.
Yeah, he passed away. So I know they're doing a big tribute right now. Probably as you and I are recording this,
yes, yeah, right.
They're doing a big tribute over at the iHeart Radio station. So anyone who has tuned in to the monsters of the morning throughout the past 20 years, if you were a fan of the show, then you knew of Bubba. And yeah, I read it online. Then I saw it on Carlos's story. And just one of the many great humans that were lost in 2023.
Yeah.
And every reason why it's like,
yeah, congratulations, you made it to 24.
Yes. Congratulations. Like we all made it to 24. Right. And I say that because it's a current event that's happening in our world and to one of our friends and then obviously his colleagues and their entire fan base. But all of us lost somebody in 2023. Right. And many of them unexpectedly, many of them a life cut too short. And I know we came into today not trying to be that morbid or sad, but almost reflective, where it's like, no, we made it to 24. Let's start there, whether it's with your health, with your relationships, because you're alive, you're breathing, your heart works, your brain functions. We also made it if you are in the mortgage and real estate industry. It's hey, y'all, we made it.
Right.
We freaking did this. And it's really awesome. I love New Year. I am maybe one of those cheesy people that
sets goals and shit.
Yeah, I like a good reset. And I'm not saying New Year's is the only time that you have to do a reset. Just like Valentine's Day isn't the only time you should slow down and tell the person that means a lot to you that they mean a lot to you, right? We should intentionally be celebrating our love and affection for our loved ones throughout the year. We just don't do it enough. So we go ahead and say, hey, February 14th is the day that we're going to make a big deal out of this. January 1st is just a time for me to be reflective of everything that did go well in the previous year, and it lets me get back on track for the year to come. It starts with business planning, and I know that we beat that dead horse, right? Beat that into the ground. Yeah. But we did our fair share of business planning, and you and I are still a part of an organization where we're getting ready to we did 4 phases of business planning. Right, this company's a company that's kind of out of the incubator. It's now into infancy. That's TLOP Online. So we couldn't just knock out business planning in 2 or 3 hours the way that I could with my mortgage company. No, this required 4 90-minute sessions, each time taking something and coming back with it. So yes, I am a cheesy, nostalgic type individual. I sent you and 2 other people a really what I felt was
good. I responded. I put a heart on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
A text message on New Year's Eve letting you all know how much I appreciate you and how much I'm excited. But for all of the listeners, congratulations, you made it, right? Whether you want to go as morbid as we started off with, hey, you're alive, you made it, to no, whatever you're going through in life and in business, you made it to the next year. You made it to the next phase, and you should probably slow down and celebrate everything that did go well, because unfortunately in life we don't do that often. We just focus on the 1 or 2 things that we wish would have gone better. But it's kind of asinine. I always get caught up in this when people think that every decision was supposed to be the right decision, or every decision, it might have been the right decision, but it was supposed to go as anticipated. I'm like, no, life doesn't work that way. Like that's asking yourself to be perfect. Like not even ChatGPT is perfect. Not even ChatGPT is perfect. Computers aren't perfect. Humans are far from being perfect. Yet we hold ourselves to these like really high, crazy standards that never give room for things not to go the way they are anticipated. So, and maybe they were supposed to go that way. You just haven't found the message within the message. So so congratulations, John. You made it to 24.
You too. You got some goals like for this year? What are some of your ambitions? You gonna run some more marathons and stuff?
Yeah, you know what? I've signed up for a race already in April. I'm gonna do that's a smaller race. It's like an Olympic triathlon.
Oh yeah, just small. Only 55 miles in a day. Just small.
No, it's like an hour and a half race, not a 6-hour race type deal.
Okay.
But I am planning on going back up to Wilmington, North Carolina, more than likely, or Chattanooga, Tennessee, and competing in a couple of the Ironman competitions later in the year. But what I'm excited about is like a reset. Like I've reset. I will put it out there. If people want to know, like, hey, Dio, what are your goals?
Yeah, what are your goals, Dio?
First and foremost, I need to start reading more. Now, we are featuring, by the way,
a book
that I probably talked about for 6 months, because I bet it took me 6 months to completely read this book in order to now have the new trophy. But it is called On the Brink, and it is the firsthand account from Hank Paulson, who was the Treasury Secretary in 2008 during the financial collapse. So it's his day by day, hour by hour recollection of what was going on and how he and a handful of others really came together to keep our country and our economy and our financial system from utterly collapsing. So whatever we experienced in 2008, that was like a dent on what could have been a total just mashup of a terrible crash. Ended up being just a really bad rear end fender bender type. But it's a good book. I'd recommend it to anyone who likes that, historical
looks
aspect.
like it has small fonts and very few pictures. Although I do see a section of that glossy paper, so it looks like it has some graphs or something in the middle.
Oh, look at you. You found that. I totally forgot about that.
That's the first thing I turn to in books like this. Do they have pictures and are they big?
There was a small section that I'm sure has pictures of him standing, in the boardroom.
I'll start there.
Okay, but no, it's a regular size book, John, with normal size font.
Whoa, you call that regular size?
Yes, 300 some pages. You want to look at it? Now, how many pages is in there?
500, sir. So just 500.
Okay, well there you go. It's a normal size book.
That's a textbook made by Houghton Mifflin. But yeah, so. Your goals.
My goals. While playing cards with the neighbors, it's funny. We were coming up with our, what do they call them? New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And I'm not a resolution type person, but I am a refocus, recharge, show gratitude, and set goal person.
Right.
If y'all want to call those resolutions, call them resolutions. But, and one of them was very broad based. Take things less serious. But still be a good person, right? Take things less serious because it doesn't matter. Very few things that we do really matter. If you really want to boil down, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yet we make everything in life, usually because we're self-centered and also shallow, the biggest and most important thing. It doesn't matter. If my kid does not come home until 2 a.m. and I told him to come home at 1 a.m., as long as he comes home safe, it doesn't matter. If I placed a $10,000 investment into my business and that investment totally backfired, it doesn't matter. Think about that. 10 grand. It's a lot of money. 10 grand could be 1 month's pay or 1 month's household pay if it was dual income. So 10 grand is a lot of money, but if I made a $10,000 investment into my business, I obviously made it because I thought it was a well thought out decision and it was supposed to come with an ROI. And if it totally blows up in my face, you know what I have to do, John? Maybe I have to work an extra month before I can retire. So instead of retiring at 62 and a half or 67 and a half, it's 62 and 1/2 plus a month, right? It honestly doesn't matter. So something I'm going to try to go into 2024 with, and I'm a pretty serious dude. You've been around me now for 4 years and I have high drive and that can sometimes turn people off or I can be known to run over people. Hey, I need to calm down, take a deep breath, practice what I preach and recognize it doesn't matter, but not to the extent of I can treat people rudely. I can just totally not care, quit showering, quit bathing, quit paying my bills on time.
Damn, don't make it. How do you stop calling me out, man?
But it's like, but still be a good person.
Right, yeah.
So at a very high level. Now, what am I into like right now? Because it's January. Oh, my ass has got to start reading some more. I like the version of me that exercises 9 times a week. I like the version of me that drinks alcohol sparingly. I like the version of me that reads 10 pages a night. 10 and read, not listen. I read 10 pages. I love what those books teach me. I love how those books inspire me. I love what actually reading forces me, because reading's hard for me, y'all. So reading forces me to learn and think differently than if I just listened or just watched or sat in on some kind of a webinar, right? So I like to read, and I like when I'm drinking a lot of water and I'm eating healthy. So like right now, I'm like on my kick of I'm not eating after 8 o'clock. I'm going to get my 100 ounces of water in. I'm going to get my 9 workouts. Not quite like 75 hard, and I'm going to drink way less, at least for now. And I'm sure there will come a time or two this year where I'll start drinking pretty frequently again, and 2 becomes 5, and 2 days a week becomes 6 days a week, and I have to put myself in check. But that's on a very surface level. Those are things that I'm really, focused on, because I have found that's when I'm at my best version of me. That's when I like me the best. And then like, what am I excited about? Dude, I'm really excited about where we're going with TLOP. Like, all in. And if y'all were on these calls with me, Mark and Nikki and John, like, you would think the world was falling
to an end today.
Yes. And that we suck and that we're never going to make it. Okay, that's just the type of pressure I put on myself. I need to recognize, where were we a year ago? 1 year ago, where were we?
Shit.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I look back, I didn't even know Mark and Nikki a year ago.
Told you.
How about that?
I know.
Look at our website.
Where it started and where it is now.
And where it's going.
I know, yeah.
Like we're going to have the e-learning platform launched.
Yeah.
You're right. So like, look at the community. We didn't have a faculty.
No.
We didn't have a faculty. We weren't doing TLOP exclusives. We're not doing TLOP exclusives. I mean, we legit have a community that we have built that is going to shape the future of the mortgage industry.
Yep.
And it all started with a little podcast that you and I we decided to start doing 4 years ago without much direction. Like, we knew the possibilities. We also knew the possibilities could be we sucked at it. Possibilities could be we hated doing it. The possibilities is John could have got recruited away to go work somewhere cooler than a mortgage company.
Got to update your LinkedIn for that.
At which point, that would have been a cool idea. We scratched that itch, but I lost my producer. I lost my co-host, so I quit doing it. But we didn't. And we stuck it out. And now, when I look back at where we are, and I know where we're going, because I still feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like 1 million downloads? Come on, please. Please, 10 million downloads. That's where we're going, right? And we have the capacity to support 3% of the mortgage industry. 3%. We only want 3, maybe 4% max. Now, we want everyone to know about the show, people to tune in from time to time. We would love for tens of thousands to get our newsletter, but I'm talking about being a TLOPper, being a part of the community. No, we have room for about 3, max, I would say 5%. But we're heading in that direction. Like every single day, you and I are signing handwritten thank you notes, and you're sending off T-shirts, right, to people who are joining and being a part of this community because they want more. They want to be the future. They want to achieve certain levels of success, and they've recognized that they're not going to do it alone. They're going to do it by being around others who are like-minded, who have been there before, that they can learn from, mastermind with, etc. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about my local branch, like the very first mortgage branch that my 2 partners and I opened 15 years ago in Winter Park, Florida. We are going to be hyper-focused and intentional on rebooting that. Now, we still are opening up satellite branches throughout the Southeast. Have a conversation going on right now with someone up in Nashville, looking at opportunities in Arkansas. Obviously, Florida is my home market, so I always look for opportunities to bring people on in Florida, Atlanta's a big opportunity. Charlotte's a big opportunity. Although our friends at Rosegate Mortgage are up there. So I honestly, I love supporting them in that market. Don't really have a need to be up there. But what I'm excited about is we are going to show our first baby the love that it craves that maybe we haven't shown it in the past 2 or 3 years, right? Like we felt like we were showing that baby love. It's kind of like, maybe stop thinking about your 17-year-old because she's a junior, she gets straight A's, and you're focused on your 13-year-old who's getting C's and D's and always getting detention. Mm-hmm. But that 17-year-old still craves the same love and attention from mom and dad. My 2 partners and I are going to circle the wagons. I'm excited about that because I think that's going to reinvigorate me. And even I was talking to my partner, Brooke, over at the real estate investment company. Like, I look at where we are today, January of 2024, compared to where we were January 2023, 2 polar opposite. Yes, the trajectory that company A is on versus company B. Company B was the company it was January 23. January 24, but you know what? When I get on calls with him and the other partners over there, everything that we tend to discuss is about what's not working. What could we have done better? How could we have prevented that mistake? And I love the fact that we do that, but I think we also have to be cognizant of everything that's going well, right? We bought and sold the most transactions we had ever sold in 23. We made the most money we'd ever made in 23. Yet 24 is already lined up to be 4 times better than 23.
4x, people.
Yeah, 4 times. I'm excited. I'm with my partner David. Sent out an awesome email. Was it
Friday?
Was it Friday?
Mm-hmm.
So is that the last business day? And I even commented because this is typically my role. David's more of his pendulum swings 0 direction, not left, not right. It just sits dead center.
It's a gimbal.
But he sent a heartfelt message, and I know where he's speaking from, where it was basically to our entire staff. Congratulations, you survived one of the toughest years in the mortgage industry. Congratulations, we have better times ahead. He said, I'm not going to promise you they're going to be noticeably be better right away, but I'm going to tell you with who's on our team and the direction we're going and what the market's going to give us, it's going to be better. And then we get to the end of 24, 25 should be remarkably better than 24. And in so many aspects, I think that's most people's lives and business as long as they are in growth mode. As long as they're in growth mode, right? Are you a person who's looking to grow? And grow doesn't necessarily mean bigger muscles. Grow doesn't have to be more money in the bank, but you're focused on some kind of betterment, right? Because growth may be, I love my muscles, but I don't like my relationships. So I'm going to focus on my relationships if you're talking on the personal level, right? Growth in business, maybe, look, I love my units and volume and I love my income. I need to work on my work-life balance. So I'm going to be growing, or I need to become a better leader. So for me, I'm always going to be growing, but this year I'm going to do a reset. That starts with what I'm putting in my body, my exercise, how much alcohol I'm consuming or not consuming, and what I'm putting into my brain. I have to read more than I did in 23. And I know that because I've lived that before and I love that version of me. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a step back and realize it's all going to be okay. It's one of those, it doesn't matter, but it does, right? It matters that you're a good person. Right. It matters that you're trying to leave this earth better than you found it. It matters that you're investing back in your community. That matters. Mm-hmm. The way you treat people, it does matter. But the big scheme of things,
shit don't matter.
Don't matter.
Especially when the sun goes red giant and then engulfs the inner 3 planets, nothing will matter.
Yeah. So
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So how do you stay motivated? Because everybody's motivated the first week of January. The gyms are always crowded. People are like, yeah. But come 3rd week in January, people are like, you get that. So what can you say advice-wise to either prevent that or when you feel yourself slipping, what do you do to get yourself rah-rah'd back up?
I have learned in my 45 years of age that maybe I am wired a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. I'm motivated by not sucking. I don't want to suck at anything. I'm motivated because I have low self-esteem. So I'm motivated because I don't want someone to look at me and think I'm a weak player or that I never want to be picked last. And so those are the things that motivate me. I mean, I'm wired that way. I like to win.
Mm-hmm. So
if we go bowling, I want to win. Now, if we go bowling and you bowl a 300 and I bowl a 220, bro, I'm thrilled for you.
Yeah.
I'm buying shots and I'm happy for me.
Yeah.
Because I do think I do a good enough job of keeping things in perspective that being blown out by 80 pins, look, I'm a 180 average. The fact that I bowled a 220,
I break 100, I'm happy.
I'm celebrating that. It's funny. My wife was talking about college football and me because I'm a pretty passionate fan.
Fanatic is what they call them, Dustin.
Passionate fan. But if my team goes to Oklahoma, a game that we're supposed to lose by 2 or 3 scores, and it's a close game, dude, I was so happy.
We won.
No, I just look. The team showed up. The team played well. The score, we didn't end up on the right side of the scoreboard, but I wasn't like all distraught by it.
Right.
But we show up and we get waxed by a lesser opponent.
They are who we thought they weren't.
But what I'm gonna work on this year, it doesn't matter, Dustin. It doesn't matter. I won't even remember half of these players' names in 2 years. I won't remember the schedule next year. So what mattered was the memories I was making with my family, my friends. What mattered was the energy I was putting off, because when I'm MFing the coach and MFing the play calling and I'm MFing the players, who, by the way, are kids.
Children.
Yeah. There's another 8 or 12 people within my vicinity that are feeding off the energy. So, yeah, I'm going to focus on understanding and living, not just saying, but living.
Good for you, Dustin.
Yeah, but I want to read more. I want to read 12 books. It's not a lot, by the way. 10 pages a day essentially gives you about 12 books a year. I want to read 12 books. One of those is going to be a monstrosity, like a 900-page book.
The dictionary?
No, but it's the biography of Lyndon B. Johnson. I've owned it now for almost a year.
That is insane.
I haven't cracked it yet. But I have a couple really good books that either like my parents bought me one for Christmas or fans of the show have sent in. So they are on my reading list as well. I'm going to do things like really embrace technology even better than I have. So
Mark showed me ChatGPT. Did you know you can just?
Hush your mouth.
I'm serious. Did you know you can? I'm serious. He put in some shit. It was like, I want this to sound like Dustin Owen, and this was like boop boop boop, and it's just wrote. I was flabbergasted.
John, do you know I've been trying to talk to you about ChatGPT for a year? We just had Michelle on Arch MI.
I'm a slow adopter, Dustin.
All right. So
I knew that would chap your ass.
Nonetheless, let's do this. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show.
Okay.
Let's wrap this one up. We kept it light. We've gone hard. Y'all.
Past couple episodes have been
past
deep.
2 or 3 weeks worth of content has been hard. Tulsa, I'm coming for you. I'll be up there on the 11th, Thursday the 11th. There's still time to register. TLOPonline.com. That's the community. If you are a mortgage loan originator, you got to be a part of it. At least sign up for the newsletter. Try to attend one of our free calls a month, but really look into investing in yourself. We have some awesome stuff in store for 2024. Yeah. I'm excited. You should be excited.
I'm hella excited.
Congratulations. You made it to 24. Now let's go rock out. Make this year the best year yet. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. You just tuned in to the Lone Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you in the next episode. Peace.